Hi, it's Rita Wilkins, a downsizing designer. So we're coming up on year end, and I don't know if you take the time to do this, but I'm going to talk about it today because it's about a meaningful life review of 2025. So it might be late November or maybe even early December, wherever you are, and you're scrolling through your calendar, you're seeing appointments that you barely even remember, and suddenly it hits you. Where did this year go? I know we've all said that. And the thing is, though, for women 50 plus, life seems to speed up a little bit more as our years go by. We spend so much time caring for other people, partners, children, aging parents, that we almost forget to check in with the one person who probably matters the most, and that's ourselves. So this video is your invitation to pause, reflect, and honor the year that you've lived, and with honesty, compassion, and maybe even a few celebrations along the way. So there's so much power in reflection. Certainly it's much better than just a to-do list. So a woman spent all of 2025 supporting her husband through a major career change, helping her youngest child move off to college, and organizing a number of community volunteer events. But at the end of the year, she barely remembered her own accomplishments. But when she finally did sit down to reflect, she realized she had learned a new digital skill that helped her husband in his business. She completed her first 5K in a decade, and also she successfully organized a fundraiser that helped raise money for local families. So reflection gave her that perspective, and also pride in what she had done. And the funny thing is, she really hadn't taken time for herself like that before. So a possible thing for you to do would be to write down 3 things that you accomplished this year, whether they're big or small. And also celebrate your quiet victories. So not every victory, not every win is headline worthy. Many of our most important accomplishments and victories are those quiet, invisible, and maybe deeply personal ones. So a woman I know spent many years avoiding a confrontation with her family. But this year, she finally did it. She set boundaries with her adult children in a way that was firm but loving. No one applauded her for this, but she felt liberated for the first time in many years. So what quiet victories are you proud of this year? The next one is embracing our missteps without shame. So if we're honest with ourselves, some things didn't go as planned this year, and that's really okay. So another woman I know decided to renovate her kitchen. She thought she could do it on her own. She did have a contractor, but she quickly realized that she underestimated the costs, and at first she felt frustrated, even angry at herself. But looking back, she said, I really learned a lot. It was a valuable lesson, expensive lesson about planning and asking for help, and then trusting our own instincts. So missteps are not failures. They're actually opportunities for us to grow. So here's a little bit of a prompt for you. Name 1 or 2 things that didn't go as planned for you this year. What lessons did they teach you? So lessons learned like that are actually treasures. Sometimes our hardest moments teach us the most. There was a woman named Susan. She struggled with burnout for overcommitting. And by the end of the year, she realized the importance of saying no, slowing down, and also prioritizing her own well-being. That insight had become her guiding principle for 2026. So a little prompt for you might be, if you reflect on this year, what lessons did life hand you, even if it was in disguise? So there is also something about letting go. I talk about letting go a lot, but one thing to let go of. So because letting go is so powerful, it also doesn't have to be dramatic. So many people hold on to guilt about a friendship that ended years ago. One woman I know actually wrote a letter to herself that she didn't send, but it helped her live a little bit lighter almost immediately because she just let that anger and guilt go. So a prompt for you would be, is there one story, one habit, one fear, one expectation that you want to release before the end of 2025? Another thing that we have to do in this self-reflection is to envision your next chapter. So this is actually fun. It's exciting to imagine your life, not just in 2026, but beyond. So one of the women wanted more connection. Another one wanted more laughter. Another one wanted more adventure in 2026. So maybe you're picturing morning walks in your favorite park, or weekend getaways with your friends, or evenings just sitting by a cozy fire with your spouse. So a vision has to be vivid. It's like your guiding star for the decisions that you'll be making this year. So for a minute, close your eyes, picture your ideal 2026. What does that look like? What does it feel like? And then set your goals based on that heart-centered feeling that you're having. Goals work best when they do come from the heart. So a woman named Anne wanted 2026 to be a year of freedom and curiosity. So she set goals that aligned with her vision. So this is what it looked like. So try one new hobby or creative activity each quarter. Reduce the clutter in her home to create more space and peace of mind. And then to schedule monthly social luncheons with her friends. And then dedicate 30 minutes each morning to meditation. So if you notice, her goals reflect her desired feelings, the freedom, the ease, the joy, rather than obligations or expectations. They're her goals, her feelings. So a prompt for you would be write down your top 3 heart-centered goals for 2026. And then, this is such an important question. What do you want more of and what do you want less of? So Susan realized she wanted more laughter and connection and less stress and less self-doubt. So this is the kind of clarity that transforms resolutions into real-life change. So on your journal prompt, maybe make 2 lists. One, what do you want more of in 2026 and what do you want less of? Write as many as you want, but typically 3, 4, or 5. That way you're going to be able to work on those. And then choose a guiding word for the year. Maybe you've done this before, but a single word can anchor your entire year. So if you choose something like lightness, or courage or connection, whatever it is, your word becomes that gentle reminder to you day by day who you are and who you want to be every single day. So choose one word or one phrase to guide you through this year and write it in your journal. So there's a few stories that I would like to share with you. These women aren't extraordinary. They're just relatable. So we all have lessons, victories, and dreams waiting to be acknowledged. And by reflecting, releasing, and envisioning, you set yourself up for 2026 with clarity, purpose, and joy. So if you will, write a short paragraph just describing the woman that you want to be in 2026. What does she feel? What does she do? What does she value in this next year? So as you finish your life review this year, you're not starting over. You're just starting fresh. You're informed by everything that you've learned and everything you've reflected on, and you're empowered to create a year that fits you, fits your life, your energy, and your dreams. So 2026 is yours. It can be all yours. Step into it intentionally, lovingly, and also boldly. I hope this helps. And if you want to learn more, for a very short period of time, we have all 4 of my ebooks for $35. They are listed in the description below. So I hope that you'll consider, because as I've journeyed through all of this decluttering, downsizing, I've picked up on all of the things that could be stopping you, and because they certainly stopped me. And I hope they help. Take care. Have a wonderful holiday season.